Welcome to the wide, wide world of magic.
That's right. This is an episode of the podcast known as Magic the Amateuring. To people who listen to it. To people who don't listen to it, it's known as Wah!
It's known as, what is that you're listening to? And what are those two crazy people babbling about? Are these wizards?
Exactly. Yes.
And the answer is yes.
Yes.
We are 100% pure wizard goodness.
In case you were wondering what wizards are, I feel like I'm not equipped to give you an entire history of wizardry.
Yeah, it's a long and storied history.
It's very varied as well.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you have so many varieties of wizard.
Like, for instance, I'm the kind of wizard that wears a pointy hat and boils children in a cauldron.
Yeah. And I'm
but
like...
that could be totally different.
Yeah. I'm like old school, like, storybook wizard, like, of the Merlin variety.
Oh, yeah. You there are dragons trapped under the castle fighting,
there's
and it couldn't
dragons.
stand.
Basically, I only talk to kings and queens, so unless
Yeah.
you've got some title, don't bother phoning me up for some help.
But, you know, just like we are two parts of the spectrum, there are many different kinds of wizards. There's your herbal wizards that, like, find field greens and make them into potions.
Absolutely. There's your classic Harry Potter wizard.
Yeah.
Where you go to school.
There's your classic crystals wizard that practices in a strip mall and will cure you of your ailments with a diamond.
Whatever kind of wizard you are or aren't, we welcome you to listen to our show.
So welcome! On today's Wizard-tastic episode, we're going to talk about just a whole grab bag of goodies.
Yes, we are. First, we're going to start off by talking about World.
Yeah,
The World
Championships
just happened this past weekend. We had front row seats. We were there in the building where it happened.
Megan had the most of all front row seats, being literally at the table.
I was literally sitting at a table where someone won $100,000 playing a game of Magic.
Wild. Okay.
It was nuts.
We'll get into that, as well as upcoming fun stuff this weekend, and that's called U.S. Nationals.
That's right. Nationals are coming up, and if you would like to be the person who goes to freaking France to represent the entire United States at the World Magic Cup.
Do you want to slap yourself in the face with a croissant every morning? Well, get battling.
Do you not know how to eat breakfast?
I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I just throw all the foods on my face and hope.
Yeah, there's... we'll talk about, like, how you could be structuring that process differently to maybe experience more success.
I just want to tell you that if a banana isn't meant to just be smashed across my gob, I don't know what I'm doing, because that is shaped like a slapping mechanism.
I'm not gonna let you talk about that anymore. Okay. Instead, I'm going to change the subject.
Fair enough.
We're also going to be talking about one of our new favorite Twitter accounts.
Yes.
Rosewater Stone. If you don't know what that is, you're about to find out.
Yeah, we've got questions from the mailbag coming up, but before we do any of that goodness, is my personal favorite part of the show every week, because we get to say thank you to the people who make this show actually happen.
That's right, and that is you. People who listen and contribute via patreon.com/MTAcast. It is there that you can dollarnate, which is where you donate $1. You can dollarnate.
Please dollarnate.
As little as $1 an episode, and it means absolutely the world to us. We put in time, we put in work, we put in planning, even though sometimes you might listen to an episode and say, dear God, I hope that wasn't planned. It was.
It was, believe it or not.
It was planned.
We've got a lot of people who are jumping up and joining our family every month, but every month, of course, we also have people who fall off, and it's totally up to you, you know, how much you give, when you decide to stop, when you decide to potentially start again, or start for the first time. We're looking to get up to 600 patrons on Patreon. It shouldn't be that hard. We're pretty
so
close.
We're so freaking close.
Come join the family. If you've been on the fence, get in. We'll hold Thanksgiving for you.
That's right. We'll have a reunion that isn't uncomfortable.
Wow, that is quite a claim. But I'm here to back that claim up, because we will have like a popcorn station. We'll have a turkey station.
A bouncy castle.
We'll have a bouncy castle.
We'll have a wizard. Which kind?
You've got
You're just going to have to show up to find out.
Something for everyone at the MTA Cast Family Reunion. Patreon.com/MTAcast.
Another member of the MTA Cast family is CardKingdom.com. CardKingdom.com/MTAcast is a fantastic place to pick up boosters, to pick up cards, to pick up anything that you need delivered within a like absurdly short amount of time.
Yeah.
Because it will be packaged and delivered to you before you can say woo.
You know what? I don't know how they do it. I don't want to speculate that they have, drones that are flying at the speed of light through teleportation.
That's right.
Technology to get your order to you.
Maria, I need you to clarify whether the drones are flying or teleporting, because those are two different things.
What happens, Megan, is the drone flies into a teleportation hole and then flies out the other side to your house.
I now understand.
Yeah, Card Kingdom is really on the forefront of this kind of technology, and they're just great people. If you go to Reddit, if you follow the MTG subreddit, which if you don't, it's a place to check out, current stuff that's happening in the Magic world. There's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
But the main one is just /MagicTCG.
Also a place to just scream into the void.
Yeah, sometimes.
But that's neither here nor there.
Go there on your own, use your own judgment. But what I wanted to say is that there's the positive posts that you find there. A lot of them are about Card Kingdom, like either how fast their shipping was or some amazing token that somebody drew them and included in order. I just want to point out that somebody requested a vehicle token of a wheelchair for their kid, and Card Kingdom drew it up and sent it with the order. I mean, give me a break.
Cute.
They're just so great. So we're really happy to have them as a partner on our show, and we hope that you utilize them as well through this link, cardkingdom.com/MTAcast.
And if you ask for one of our stickers in the comments, you'll get an MTA sticker as well. It's cool.
Let's recreate that sticker art right now.
You can see what my hair looked like literally 3 years ago.
Nailed it.
Who's that?
It's me. I'm the mail person.
Oh, that's nice. Do you have mail for me?
I do. I have got a sack full of mail. And
why did you not put it in the goddamn mailbox?
Because I looked in
That's
through.
what it's here
I looked
for.
in through your window and I saw that you were inside your house, and I wanted to give it to you personally.
Do you know what? Sometimes the postman who delivers stuff at my apartment complex, if I have like a package or something, he will actually knock on my door, and then he also, because I'm very bad at checking my mail, will open up all the mail, open up the mailbox and also give me all of my mail that I've been neglecting to get out of the mailbox.
That's nice. It's just such a treat. Sometimes I'll see them coming up my steps because I'm out there on my porch with my cats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hello, how are you? And it just feels very kind of, 1950s.
Exactly. It's very neighborhoody.
Anyway.
Hello.
If you're a patron of a show, we will, you can show up on our doorstep and ask us questions, and our doorstep is Discord.
That's right. We have a mailbag section of our Discord chat, and we're going to answer a couple of questions coming our way from that mailbag today.
All right. So if you're a patron, you have access to this. Here we have a question from somebody whose name I don't want to try and pronounce, Zaza Olb. Tell me anything about sideboarding. I'm trying to level up in that area. When? How?
Sideboarding.
Great question, first of all.
Can be very tough.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the best things that you can do, first of all, sideboarding happens after you play a game 1.
Yep.
That's when you can sideboard. You can sideboard for game 2, and then if there's a game 3, you can sideboard for a game 3 as well.
If you happen to be in the top 8 or top 4 of a major Magic tournament, you sideboard after game 2.
That's right. We're about to talk about the World Championship where there are 5. In that case, that is best of 5, and you play the first 2 without your sideboard. But most of the time, you're going to be sideboarding after game 1. And what you're trying to do is, now that you have played a game and you maybe know some of your weaknesses in the matchup, you're going to try and make your deck a little bit better against what you're playing against.
Yeah, so one way to feel more comfortable with this is if you're playing something like Draft, it's a different experience, but if you're playing something like a standard or constructed format, is having a little knowledge of the decks that are prevalent in the metagame. And what that means is the metagame, decks that are out there in the format that other people might be playing, so you know what they're up to.
Yeah, so say that you are playing Modern, for instance, and you're playing like Maria's Boggles deck.
Oh yeah, great choice.
And you know that you're playing against Affinity. Well, there's going to be cards in your sideboard that are specifically very good against Affinity. And Modern's a great example because Modern usually has, of those 15 spots, you're going to dedicate a few spots to each of the different kind of big decks in Modern.
Right.
And those are a little less fluid than the ones in standard because,
yeah, they stick around,
sticks around
for a while, so you kind of know. Standard, always changing, but you can always use your best guess by heading to your F&M, or like if you are looking at tournament results, that sort of thing, you can say, oh, look, a lot of people won by playing Team or Energy. Well, what could I put in my sideboard that would be good to help my deck beat that deck?
Exactly. And it can be very tricky. I would say, we've been playing for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And sideboarding and constructed matches are still one of the most difficult things that I do. And I think one of my best experiences of it was when I played the black-white control deck like last year.
Yeah.
And I just literally, there's pros out there playing these decks.
Yeah.
And a lot of them write for websites. So you can just Google the name of a pro that recently did well at a tournament with the deck.
And then they'll have a sideboard
see if
guide
they
probably.
wrote, like they'll write an article about it. Like Channel Fireball has these. This one was on TCG Player, has all this like information, all this good quality like written content about what do I need to be doing. And I literally just took, I want to say it was like Seth Mansfield or something like that. And I literally just took like his recommendations because he broke it down by match. He was like, here's one of the decks, here's what you take out, here's what you put in, here's the next deck, here's what you take out, here's what you put in. And I wrote it down. And you cannot look at notes during a game, but you can look at, say you wrote yourself a sheet of notes of what you take in and what you put in and what you take out.
Yep.
You can look at that page.
Absolutely.
While you're sideboarding.
Between games. Yeah. It's 100% legal. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. It really is.
That's right.
And like you said, I will look. Craig Wesco 100% always writes a sideboard guide, and so that's wonderful. And it's a matter of opinion too. It's not a fact, right? Nothing is set in stone. Like at the World Championships, we know that people were talking about sideboarding in standard, like the after day 1, going into day 2. They were still talking about it, and the teams didn't all like people had teamed and tested together didn't agree. So
you can disagree with those notes.
It is not an exact science, and it's totally fine. Now, if you're talking about limited, that's something where it's case-by-case basis, obviously, depending on your deck and what you've managed to pick up during the draft. It's a case for not hate drafting as well, because, like, if you take a Crushing Canopy, that could just all of a sudden be one of the greatest cards in your deck to beat what your opponent is doing. And you just have to kind of be reactive to what you see out there and what you think will give you a better chance in the game. Now, another level up step beyond that is being on the play and being on the draw.
Yes.
Sideboarding, which
sometimes people will tell you, and sometimes these sideboard guides that you look at, people will even tell you, like, on the play, I take out this, put in this, and on the draw, I take out this, put in this. And it's usually not a huge difference. It'll be like 2 or 3 cards, but it is a thing.
It is a thing. And that's something that I actually have done literal 0% of. So it is something that I would look at if I were going to play in a competitive standard tournament and say, okay, let me just think about this again if I'm on the play or if I'm on the draw. But
and I think some great examples for limited, because it is harder in limited, include like the most straightforward is, say you picked up something like in the current set Crushing Canopy, which destroys an enchantment or a creature with flying. And it's like, okay, that's probably going to stay in your sideboard. But if you play against a deck then that has like a bunch of Pious Interdictions or has a bunch of flyers, then you're gonna be like, hey, I've got this great card.
This is great.
Or like Demolish, which you're not gonna put in your main deck.
No.
But all of a sudden they have like some really incredible artifacts. It's more of a thing in like Kaladesh, but you're gonna be like, okay, I will.
Just like when you use Spreading Rot to get rid of like Vance's Blasting Cannons.
That's right. I did. Do you know what? Actually, that Spreading Rot in 2 games did not kill Vance's Blasting Cannons at any point. I just killed my opponent with it.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did bring it in. I did bring it in. That's a very questionable decision, right? That card is just so narrow and so bad and kind of expensive, but I had gotten wrecked by Vance's.
Oh, God. No, Vance's is great.
Vance's Blasting Cannons.
That card's amazing.
Is like wonderful. It's so good. I just got wrecked by it. That was probably a questionable sideboard decision.
Well, keep at it and let us know how you go with advancing. Here's question number 2 from Zero. I am just questioning how good the Explore mechanic is. Is it better in limited or constructed? Great question.
I love it in limited.
It's a fantastic mechanic.
It is great. Like one of the biggest ways to lose a game of limited is just to flood out.
Flooding out.
Is to draw too many lands and not enough spells. And basically with Explore, you play a creature and what it says is like, you're either going to get one of those lands out of the way, like you're not going to have to waste your next draw step drawing this land, or you're going to be able to do some spell selection, look at that spell that you're seeing on the top of your deck and say, is this worth it? Is it not?
Right.
Is it helpful? Is it not?
Yeah,
I like it.
Mechanics like Explore, which help kind of smooth out your chances of flooding or mana screw, are really important, and I'm happy to see they've been included in one way or another in a lot of past Magic sets. In Standard, we have yet to see any exploring.
Yeah, and I think that is in part because there's not, like, it's a very good, it's one of those mechanics that's very good and limited.
Yeah.
But there's not a card that it's printed on that's doing anything really powerful and constructed right now.
So we'll just have to wait and see. I do believe that Merfolk Branchwalker's name has been floated by somebody we know as being like, maybe I play this in my Merfolk deck, and that card does explore.
Ooh,
so
yeah,
I don't know. Yet
maybe.
to be seen.
I also, like, my only concern is that those creatures are a little bit on the smaller side because of it. And, like, it has turned out to be kind of an aggressive format. So, like, you need to be balancing the strength of your creatures, like the actual power and toughness of them, against, like, how good Explore is sometimes. Because sometimes they're just, like, too small. And if you're in a race, then you might be in a bad position where it's like, oh, I really needed this to be a 3-2, but it's a 2-1. And now, like,
ask
I'm
yourself
not gonna win
if
this race, and
it's
that's rough.
okay if it doesn't hit.
Yes.
Right? How bad is it for you if this just hits a land?
Exactly.
So
you know. It's
remains
great.
to be seen. But yeah, thank you so much to those 2 questions from our mailbag. If you're a patron, that's right, you have access to the Discord chat, and you can just go into the section titled Mailbag and drop your question in the hat. Where in the world is
Carmen
Magic
Sandiego? Whoops.
Wow. Well, where in the world was Worlds? That's right, Boston, Massachusetts, the cradle of liberty.
Oh, she skips across the world from Kiev to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize.
Wow. Rockapella.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, but like you said it, and then my brain would not get rid of it. Honestly, it's still playing in there.
Can I just tell you that if you're somebody who has the power, that show needs to come back. And
if any of our listeners have the power to bring back the television show Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
And you might be saying,
It's
Maria,
so true.
Didn't you have the power? And I would say, yeah, I guess I could have maybe put a push in for it. I don't know.
You could have.
It was so good.
It was so good.
I would get into it if
it's
if
great.
You're off air, but
and those questions were hard.
They're very hard.
I remember watching it just a couple of years ago, like rewatching it, because yes, I did have nothing better to do than to YouTube old episodes of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego and watch them.
How do those kids know?
They were so tough.
Yeah.
Especially when they got to like the 3rd stage, which is the one where it's like they have to take the poles and like the posts and put them on the giant world map.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine being a kid and being able to accomplish that. As an adult, I was like, this is tough.
Do yourself a favor and go watch some old episodes of that, and then get on the horn and make it happen.
That's right.
Just fantastic all around.
So
anyway.
Good. Anyways.
Magic
and then they
World.
had Where in Time.
We're in Time.
Anyways.
The computer game. Oh, we could get into it.
We really could. But the World Championship happened this past weekend, and that is nearly as exciting as Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
It was, of course, the Magic tournament with the biggest prize purse in the history of Magic, $100,000.
$350 total. $100,000 to the winner of the tournament.
Insane.
Just completely absurd.
That's some cold, hard change in your pocket right there.
That's right.
We had the teams.
Also, if you tried to have it in change, I wonder like how much.
Please give it to me in change.
Anyways, I would like this in nickels.
We had the finals of the team series happening, which was something we've been watching all year. So what happens is at the beginning of the season, the pros
with the very first PT
Pro Tour,
Kaladesh,
the pros were like, find yourself 6 buddies, and this is your team for the year. And if you're one of the top 2 teams in pro points through pro tours, you get to be here at the team series final.
That's right. So the 2 teams facing off were Musashi, which is like just like 6 Japanese players with some of the most incredible records.
Insane.
Of all time. Like Musashi led the field from basically the beginning.
From
we were
the,
just
from the
talking about
beginning
this. Like,
through all the way through.
they like, I think already by the second PT of the season, they were leaps and bounds ahead.
Yeah, there is no
and
way.
they just held that lead.
They just held it. At the last Pro Tour of the season, there was 100%, I believe, no way that any other team could catch them.
They just could not be caught.
They could not be
Just
caught.
completely absurd.
Yeah, so their team is just 6 incredible players, and I like had to read their slides out on the air of how good they did. And they've got more than $1 million in combined earnings.
I remember, so like I got to write a piece on, so the format for that the team series final was Ixalan sealed.
Yeah.
So they broke those teams of 6 into 2 teams of 3. And had each of those teams of 3 build a team sealed pool, and then they faced off against each other. And I was like in there covering it, and I was like, oh, I know, like on Musashi, I know obviously Shota Yasuoka, who's Hall of Fame, and Yuya Watanabe, who's very recently Hall of Fame. And then I was like, so that team, and it's 2 of them on one of the teams, and then on the other team I was like, I don't really know of these players. Like, I know one of these guys like made top 8 of a Pro Tour this season recently. I remember seeing him. And like I went to go start typing up like the intro to this piece about their team sealed builds.
Yeah.
And those guys, the team of players that I was like, I'm not as familiar with them, had 8 Pro Tour top 8s between them.
Just ridiculous.
3 players. And I was just like, well, never mind. Like, I'm just an idiot.
It was fantastic. Team Genesis, of course, is kind of the U.S. players plus some European players getting together, working it out.
It's like some international all-stars as well. You've got like Brad Nelson, just an incredible constructed player.
Standard Slayer is what I call him.
Seth Manfield, recent 2 years ago.
2015.
Champion.
Yep, world champ. We got Martin Dang.
That's right. Like 3 years. He's 19, and this is his 3rd year playing. No,
Martin Mueller.
Oh, that's right. Martin Dang, who won Pro Tour Dragons for Martin Mueller, who's 19 and is now on his 3rd world championship at 19.
Like what? Yeah. So both teams super strong. They faced off in the end. It was just hold here if you don't want spoilers, because it was actually super great to watch. They had to go to a tie break.
That's right.
So
the
all
2
the
teams
drama.
of 3 faced off, and Genesis won the first one, and Musashi won the second one.
Tiebreaker.
And the 2 winning teams faced off.
Yeah, fantastic. Go check it out.
It wasn't sudden
On Twitch. It was not. It
took
a while.
It would be so intense.
It was like the first team to have a match wins are just like, play faster.
Yeah, everyone's just like, ah.
In the end, Musashi was victorious, and they were very happy about it. And it was a great culmination because, as we said, they led the entire time, and it's kind of cool to see a team who has been out in front the whole way take the trophies home. So
it was great. Speaking of people who are out in front the whole way, taking trophies home.
No kidding.
William Huey Jensen.
Yeah.
Just had a complete,
he just thrashed the field. Let's get real.
As so many people tweeted at us, Marshall Sutcliffe is going to be owning a lot of nice new socks.
Yes, he is.
If you did not listen to last week's episode, you should.
You should. It's great.
Because Marshall gives a very impassioned speech about how he thinks Huey's gonna win.
Yeah, so if you want to feel like Marshall's some kind of psychic mind master, go listen to the last episode.
To it. Because Maria, the more I think about it, Marshall wasn't just because we were kind of let's all pick a player from the field, it'll be fun. And Marshall was just
24 amazing players. We could have said anybody's name and it would have been yeah, sure, they've
got a chance. But it's just Marshall's just no, he's gonna do it.
Huey's winning.
He's winning.
He's gonna win it. And I was like, how on earth can you be so sure? Magic is a crazy game of variance, and there's 24 amazing players, and he's just no, he's going to win.
It's so good. What was it? I keep thinking about what he said. There's nothing more terrified than a determined Huey Jensen.
Yeah.
It's well, now I understand.
Okay, I get it.
He was going to win. He wanted to win. And
he wanted to win so bad. He's won a GP. He's won a Pro Tour. He won something they call the Master Series. I don't know what that is, but now he's also a world champion. His parents were there to see him. Apparently his grandparents owned a store across the friggin' street from where he won. It was just fantastic. And he's such a good guy too.
Yeah. So if you were not keeping up with the news over the weekend, he was the only player to go undefeated on day 1.
Yep.
And then he proceeded to also win the next
everything until the final 2 matches.
He was 12-0 At which point, against the rest of the field, literally, if he lost every match and
matter.
everyone else won every other match, everyone would still end up 2 matches shy of him.
Insane. Insane.
The next best record was he was 12-2 at the end, and 9-5 was the next best record after the Swiss rounds.
Yeah, just a machine. I mean, he and Reed and Owen, aka the Peach Garden Oath, had been testing like mad, as you will hear Marshall attest to in our previous episode, and it certainly paid off. He played like a champion. Like, not only did he go 6-0 in draft, by the way, which is just a casual 3-0ing a competitive pod with back to back, no problem.
There's but
there are games that we can point to. One is a limited game, and one is a game, I think the one in which he won the tournament in constructed in the standard portion in the top 4, which was, people said they watched him play these and they're like, it's incredible. He played absolutely perfect. If he didn't play the way that he played, he simply would not have won those games.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
And they were not intuitive. It was very complicated. One was an insane game of limited where he stole somebody's bellowing Aegisaur and had to use a combination.
You know what? I got to be front row to that game.
God, it was great. It's like you a normal human mortal is in that spot, and you're like, I don't freaking know. There's 300 creatures on this battlefield. I guess I turn them all sideways.
That was the one where he hostage takered Sam Black's bellowing Aegisaur, and then on his next turn went Pyroclasm. To put 2 counters on everything, and then also just threw a lightning strike at the Aegisaur to kill it, but to put a 3rd counter on everything.
Yeah.
And this game had looked like he was at 4 life.
Yeah.
The board was just absurd. Sam had that Aegisaur in play for forever, so his counter creatures all these counters on them.
It was.
I look
incredible. At that board and I started to break out in hives.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
he figured it out. Watching it, I was just like, I don't understand how you win here, how you keep playing this game thinking there's a way out of this.
No, exactly. It's
one of those games where you look at it and you're like, well, there's no chance. There's no way I can win this. He won with 1 card in his library, by the way.
Oh my God.
In that game. He was down to literally a single card when he made an attack. And that attack wasn't lethal, but Sam had no attacks back and was dead on the swing back. No matter what. Yeah,
you've got to go check out that game. It's probably my favorite game I've ever watched. And then, of course, in the top 4, playing against Javier Dominguez of Spain, playing mono red. And in that game as well, it was just razor thin margin that he was able to pull out in front in that game. I mean, if you want to watch somebody just somehow make all the correct decisions ever, just watch William Hugh Jensen.
If you want to watch someone unfailingly make the right choice 1,200 times in a row, which is impressive.
Really impressive.
Really impressive. You can go watch the World Championship. It's
great. He had great purple pants on for the top 4.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say that on coverage, but I really want to. Those pants were amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic tournament.
Do you know, going back to that sideboarding question from earlier?
Yeah.
This is actually super interesting because I looked at Huey's deck list.
Yeah.
And in that game too against Sam, he played a March of the Drowned and a Marauding Looter, which were both not in his main deck. And it's like, oh yes, so obviously one Marauding Looter is a little bit bigger, and both of those generate card advantage. Yeah. So his creatures are smaller, but he knows against this big green white deck, he's gonna need to have get more value out of everything that he's doing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's a really good example of sideboarding.
Yeah, fantastic Worlds. Of course, everybody there, congratulations to them for making it there. It is the hardest and most exclusive tournament to qualify for, and super exciting to be able to be there amongst the greatest players of the game. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have a overall highlight of the weekend?
Oh man.
Just gonna spring that one on you.
Yeah, that's so tough. I don't even know.
Was it eating a puke flavored jelly bean?
No, it wasn't. It really 100% wasn't. I didn't eat a puke flavored jelly bean.
Oh, yours was dirty socks.
That was you.
Yeah.
I did eat a dirty socks flavored jelly bean. Also not the highlight.
Yeah, we played a game of Bean Boozled with bad and good jelly beans.
It's bad. It's I did eat a great cannoli. I ate 2 cannolis. Oh yeah,
those cannolis were great.
Oh boy. I really like cannoli, and it's really hard to find great cannoli. We went to the cannoli place.
The cannoli place.
The cannoli
in Boston.
Place. That's great.
We saw some history. We saw Paul Revere's house and grave. So full circle on Paul Revere's life.
We just the whole thing. The whole thing.
Yep, all the way around.
We saw John Hancock's grave, which is every bit as ostentatious as his signature compared to those around it.
Of course. It has to be. That's how he do. Yep. Anyway, if you are a fan of the team series and everything like that, Pro Tour Ixalan is going to be the kickoff coming up here in just a few weeks. Will be the start of the second ever Pro Tour team series. That's so you can watch it from the beginning and follow it from the beginning and see if anybody could ever possibly catch Musashi. And yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Worlds.
Well, if you want to end up as part of a giant tournament of Magic and speaking words like je suis, then maybe you could check out Nationals.
Je suis means I am.
Very good. Megan's studying French.
I am.
Give me a sentence you learned recently.
Oh, man. Oh, God, you can't do this. Oh, wait. This is actually one of my favorite ones that for some reason I'm just using Duolingo.
Okay.
This is my favorite one that it keeps giving me. It's done it like 3 times, which is oh God, hold on, let me look it up.
Megan
screenshotted it.
Good old French.
I'm gonna get part of it wrong otherwise.
Don't worry. Is it the one?
Tu manges comme un cochon, which is you eat like a pig. It has made me practice that sentence no less than 4 times.
You need to know how to say that in France. And also, je suis désolé.
I am sad.
Just because when you're in France, you wear a beret. It's very ennui. You know, you wear the striped shirt in front of the Eiffel Tower, smoke a cigarette. Yeah. Remember all your past loves. That's just what you do. That's just what you do.
God, all right, yeah, no. I'm just too, the real problem is that I'm like too self-conscious about how poorly I pronounce French words.
That's why you have to drink when you learn a language. Yeah. Maria's advice. Ding! Anyway, yeah, so U.S. Nationals are qualifying you for the, it's not the World Championship, but
the World
Magic Cup, which I always get mangled about in my brain.
3 players from every Magic playing country are headed to France, where they will face off against one another
by watching the movie Face Off and then playing Magic. It's a requirement.
You have to pick a John Travolta, a Nick Cage, and then all the other people.
And this face skin. Oh!
No. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, wait. You have to pick. There's a Nick Cage, a John Travolta, and the person sitting in the middle is the face swapper.
Oh, the swap, like half.
Yeah, the swapper.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
All right.
Anyway, what it really is. It's a really unique tournament. It's like it's actually kind of strange.
It's really cool.
Because like you can qualify for it by just going and playing the Nationals tournament, which is happening.
The team captains are the top pro point earners from that country.
Yeah.
So for instance, Reed Duke is the US's team captain this year.
Captain Duke.
And the other 2 people are determined by Nationals. Some of them have already happened.
Yes.
Big congrats to Autumn Burchett, BT Dubs, who won English Nationals, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And we harassed her.
And she just did,
into wearing a Mary Poppins costume.
That's right. Costume. We tried to convince her to wear a Mary Poppins and or Chimney Sweep costume. She's going to get back to us on that, by which I mean she said no. But anyways, she also went on a tear. I don't think she didn't lose an entire match that weekend.
No, just took the whole place to waste. It was great.
So some of them are already determined.
Yeah, some of them already happened. This weekend in Richmond, U.S. Nationals is happening. The way that you qualify is you don't have to be a silver level, platinum level, gold level, even bronze level pro. You just need to have 500 Planeswalker points.
That's right.
And that's
PWPs.
You look, if you don't know how many you have and you've played like a GP or something,
you've got it.
You probably have them.
Probably got it.
So yeah, it's really unique in that way that it's not just a bunch of pros going to a tournament. It's a couple of of course the captain is, but then
it's all the big dreamers.
The big dreamers.
The big dreamers.
Anybody can win. And
do you know what we were talking about? So before this, we were in Providence.
Yeah.
Remember? Do you remember?
I do actually. Believe it or
not, we were in Providence, and the winning
2 weeks.
The winning team was Andrew Beckstrom, Martin Yuza, and Corey Burkhart.
Yeah.
And we were like, do you remember Andrew Beckstrom won, made the US's World Magic Cup team like 4 years ago.
Did he
before
really?
He was like, you know, winning GPs with a guy who's about to be on the Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
So my point is that if you are on this year's World Magic Cup team for the US, 4 years from now, you too could be on a team with Martin Yuza.
That's how it works.
That's
how it works. And of course, the format of National is kind of cool because not only you're playing standard, which you might expect, you also get to draft.
What?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You come in, you play. Is it
tour.
3, 4, 3? Wait, it's like 4 rounds of constructed, and then 3 rounds of draft, and then
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But the point is, it's a combined format event, which is normally only reserved for something like a pro tour. I guess you could call like a team sealed multi-format if you make it to the top 4, but whatever. It's really unique and neat, and like we said, like any dreamer can make the team if they happen to win nationals. And the World Magic Cup is cool because when you get there, we alluded to Autumn's costume, is you get to represent your home country in a national dress or some kind of costume representing your country if you so choose. Which I think is brilliant.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to see what people come up with this year because past years have been just epic. I think Mexico was given the title last year for best costume. They all dressed as luchadors, and it was just fantastic. Anyway,
great.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So,
like, so much team spirit, so much fun.
What do you
very cool
think of draft going into this event?
Do you know what we got to draft a little bit while we were in Boston. Mm-hmm. I've only drafted. So my problem is that it's a little. I will say this: Ixalan draft is a little too straightforward for me. It's like fairly aggressive, and there's some very defined archetypes, and if you stay within them, you're gonna be doing the best, right? Like black, white vampires, great. If you're like Maria was trying to navigate her computer, and I just kept. I didn't realize that I was using the pen to push the mouse around while she was trying to operate the trackpad. Oh. Anyways, yeah, where were we?
You're talking about a draft, and you're like, it's kind of straightforward.
Do you feel the same way? Right, like the best decks are fairly straightforward. They're like red, white, aggressive dinosaurs, blue, green, merfolk, black, white, vampires. My favorite deck so far that I've drafted, though, has been a deck where I cast Overflowing Insight with no islands in play.
Yeah.
It was great.
Beautiful.
That was a 4-color deck that played Snapping Sailback, Spineback, the big green dino.
Sailback.
That
the
makes
flash
other
dino?
dinos.
Oh, no, you mean Thundering Spineback.
Thundering Spineback.
Yeah.
And Boneyard Parley. I'm the only person to have yet tried playing Boneyard Parley. And Overwhelming Insight. I 2-0'd with that sucker. It was great.
I think that we are kind of getting into a new, like, here's the thing. Red, white, aggressive dinosaurs, good. Red, black, pirates, smash your face, good. But also, I think we are kind of entering a phase where people are doing more creative things. Yeah. How good those end up being able to be because of the aggression of the other decks remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I just want to say that my favorite kind of moment from Worlds was Kristen Calcano's cool Auras draft deck that he built.
So many swashbucklings.
He had 4 copies of Swashbuckling and was playing cards like Blightkeeper, which prior to this nobody was going to touch with a 10-foot pole.
But now everybody's like, yeah,
like, oh, you know what?
I'll take that bat. I'll take that 1/1 flying bat and slap an aura on it.
Yeah, like,
why not?
I just love stuff like that. I'm trying to find the format.
Great
format. A mixture of standard and booster draft. Okay. That's what we said, so I guess we're right.
Maria, what about standard, though?
All right, so standard, we got our first kind of sniff of the new standard format with Worlds. What did we sniff out? And the thing is, it was a little warped because at Worlds, the prize is literally $100,000.
That's right.
And you kind of want to play it safe because you want literally $100,000.
Also, a lot of players were talking about how with only 24 players in the field, like a metagame of a 24-player tournament is so weird and difficult.
It is.
Because if it's like, oh, some of them were talking about like, hey, maybe there's like this black-white tokens deck that people have been kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a thing. But it's like, what if half the field shows up, like 12 people decide to play a deck with Walking Ballista, and then you're just in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, right, like decks would either be 0% or like 30% of the metagame, as opposed to in a lot of bigger tournaments, it's like everything's kind of like 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Or like 10 to 20.
So, you know, it was a little weird for multiple reasons. People playing it safe versus this very strange, small mini metagame that we saw at Worlds. And also not a lot of time, right? Some people are not a lot of time, and you don't have a huge testing team. Like at the Pro Tour, sometimes a lot of teams will work together. So you have teams of 14, 15 people. And here is like teams of, you know, sometimes 5, sometimes 3, sometimes 1 in the case of Shota Yasuoka. So like it was a different environment. We didn't see a whole lot of innovation. We saw Teamer was the deck that took it down. Teamer Energy, pretty classic build.
Still a deck to beat for sure.
Definitely still a deck to beat, 100%.
Got a little more counter magic in the main.
Yes, it can sideboard into a more controlling deck with Torrential Gear Hulk, that kind of thing. Mono Red still around, still a threat.
Yep.
Now has access to Lightning Bolt, so watch your face.
Lightning Strike.
Lightning Strike. Yeah, sorry. Lightning Bolt. Whew. No, that would be pretty good. Lightning Strike. So that happened. Blue-Black Control was a deck which Megan has played a bunch of. We saw that there. It got the addition of the card Search for Azcanta, which everybody is just getting so excited for.
I'm very excited.
Rightfully so.
Two blue-black Search for Azcanta control decks made the top 4.
Yeah.
Kelvin Chu, who a bunch of people were like, right? I hadn't heard of him.
Who's this?
He's a player from Singapore.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people were like, yeah, like Kelvin Chu is just one of the best players in the Asia Pacific region and maybe in the world. But like nobody knew it. And then he hit Worlds and everyone's like, who's this? And he makes the top 4.
Who's this cat, Kelvin Chu? This guy's good at magic.
Wait, this guy is very good at magic.
Yeah, Josh Utter-Layton had another classic blue-black control deck playing Search for Azcanta. And of course, Shota Yasuoka, the control dude, was playing a Grixis version with a red. So, that was the metagame that we saw. But of course, there's plenty of space. Online, you can search for decks that have been doing well in Magic Online. There's a red-white dinosaurs deck that I'm actually going to do a little video about, a little mini deck tech. So keep your eyes looking outwards towards the sun for that. And
don't look at the sun.
This
isn't a medical podcast, but don't look at the sun.
Tell me to look at the sun.
But don't look at the sun.
What's wrong with me? Megan talked about a black-white tokens deck, obviously using Legion's Landing. I'm very excited for it.
That could be very sweet.
But Nationals will be a place for us to see. Probably we're going to see some more brews, and I'm super, super excited.
Same.
Yeah. You know what wizards like to do?
What?
Brew with children they put in a pot.
Don't brew your deck with children. Actually, that's fine as long as it's like with, meaning cooperatively. Anyways.
We have some delightful news to share with you.
That's right. If you are on Twitter, or if you aren't, perhaps you have heard of the account Rosewater Stone.
That's Rosewatta Stone.
Of course, a mashup between Rosewater, as in Mark Rosewater, and Rosetta Stone.
Yes.
And what this account does is it runs cards, magic cards, through multiple iterations of Google Translate, and then recreates the card, but with the new text.
It's fabulous.
It's great.
It was developed by a group of cube enthusiasts in Nebraska who are laughing their butts off at Robo Rosewater, which is another one of our favorite Twitter accounts.
That's the one that taught a neural network, or now it's several of them that they have running. Yeah. How to make magic cards, essentially. And then it just churns out magic cards.
So you definitely want to follow this account. They tweet out a new version of each card at least once a day. And we're going to share with you some of the ones that have tickled our funny bones the hardest and the most often.
That's right. And we asked them, we're like, how does this even get done? And so it turns out, they don't just like send it through the same set of languages every time. It's like a random set of languages, and they actually like wrote a program that does it automatically.
So great.
That just runs it through and then gives them a couple of like, it'll take one card and it will run it through translations like a couple of different times.
Yeah.
And give them some options. And they said the sweet spot is usually about 12 translations of a card.
That's so cool. I love it so much.
It's great. It's great. So here, yeah, some of the hits. First we have Hazaret the Fervent, which translates into, of course, Hazaret. Beautiful creatures, God. Quickly.
Ooh.
Your hand is attacked by a dog or electric Hazaret or more cards.
You know, I hate when my hand is attacked by a dog.
2 in a red. Enter your credit card information. This is about the damage from enemies, Hazaret.
So not only are you getting hit by a 5/4 quickly creature, your hand is being attacked by a dog, and you're having to put in your gosh darn credit card information. Yep. Hazaret, mono red, get wrecked. Oh. Here we have Supreme Verdict, which has become the upper sentence. And it's not a sorcery, it's I'm sorry.
Which is so wrong, because if you cast Supreme Verdict,
are you kidding me?
You're not sorry.
If you get hit by it, you look at them in the eyes with your tears and you just wish they'd say, I'm sorry for what I'm doing to you.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry when I cast this.
And of course, here's the rules text of the upper sentence. Higher education cannot be abolished, which, all right.
Good rule.
That's a good rule.
It's a good
Followed
rule.
by, try all the animals. You know, you don't want to go through life only having eaten beef. You know, what about lamb?
All the animals.
What about
Lee
chicken?
One is not important to stop the rules, but it is serious, but left a warning to the scenario.
So deep.
So
Great
deep.
flavor text. I'm sorry.
so
It's
good.
about killed me right there.
Yeah.
You're not sorry.
Card type, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is another great
Maria,
one.
I'll let you read this one.
God.
This is Charging Monstrosaur, which is a 5/5 for 5 with trample and haste.
Okay, it has been changed into Monstrosaur method. with the new rules text, dance fever. Okay, and the flavor text is also great.
Wait, I want to read the original flavor
Okay,
text
yeah.
because I'm like,
She went to Scryfall, typed in Scryfall. It was great. Oh, dance fever. I swear, wizards, if you're listening, please change. If a card has trample and haste, can we just errata that to say dance fever?
Dance fever.
It just makes more
Let's just
sense.
Give all of them dance fever.
It just
Okay,
makes sense.
so the original flavor text is, I knew I should have stayed with the boat. Always stay with the boat.
And here's the new flavor text. I know that there is no ship. The ship has gone down.
Wow.
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 Dark.
Poetic and dark.
Dance fever.
I know that there is no ship.
Dance fever.
The ship has gone down. Wow.
Wow. Wow, your reality smasher has some hard dance fever.
Oh,
Woo! All right, here we go.
So it's pretty new. Long Tusk Cub.
Yeah. Okay, what's the new name, Meg?
Long Tusk Sex.
Well, I really like the mechanic on this card too.
Yeah, so originally Long Tusk Cub, when it deals damage, you get 2 energy. But this simply says Long Tusk Sex Contest. 2 energy.
Well, Wizards is getting really creative with their mechanics with Long Tusk Sex Contest.
Yes, flavor text, time to celebrate.
And isn't it really every time you participate in a Long Tusk Sex Contest? Please go
So
follow
good.
Rosewater Stone. It is incredible.
So good.
So what we're looking at Stoneforge Mystics. Okay.
We'll make
Just
you
go find it
to
for yourself. Give them a
go
follow.
them.
But what we did is we said, we love what you do. Can you please make 2 MTA exclusive Rosewater Stone cards?
That's right. And we're going to read them now, but they will also be up on the account if you would like to see the glory that is the card with this text on it.
Yes, and retweet into oblivion.
Yes.
Here you go. They're our most iconic cards of the show. Megan and my favorite cards.
That's right.
Here we go.
Our commanders.
Our
as it
commanders,
were.
yes. Here's mine. Which is, of course, Ixava, Rakdos Blood Witch.
Yes.
Which, if you don't know, she has haste and first strike, and she has unleash. I believe all three of those things. And she's legendary. So here is.
And she also has other creatures with +1 and +1 counters
have haste as well. Yeah, let's double triple check.
How could you not know?
I don't know. She has so many words on her.
First strike, haste, unleash. Each other creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has haste.
Yeah, she's a legendary creature, human cleric. The new version of Ixava Rakdos Blood Witch is called Rats, Where the Test Blood Is. Her creature type is Ancient Dynamic Human Monk, which, if that's what people say about me after I'm gone, I'll be happy. Yeah. She has the mechanic First Strike instantaneously. So even better than First Strike. Yeah. It's first strike. Her rules text goes on to say free. And this is the mechanic free. Yeah. The creature +1/+1 solution cans is the first possible. It is restricted to +1/+1, even more even series. Call a judge on that one. It also has the text null +1/+1 clothing and all other animals. Rats where the test blood is. High five.
All other animals.
And all other animals.
Okay, mine is obviously Treasure Cruise.
Yep.
The sorcery that has delve and draw 3 cards. Yeah. Some of the best text there is in Magic. Yeah. Here's Treasure Cruise now. House. Magic. Smart. Like a bucket like money, but a stranger. Give us cards.
Give us cards.
Clap in water or enjoy the other.
I mean, that's really strong life advice. Clap in water, enjoy the other.
Give us cards. Is my favorite version of
Give us cards. Because, like, if you clap in water, it's really hard. Yeah. So either you do what's hard or you enjoy what you've already got going on.
Smart.
Deep.
Like a bucket like money, but a stranger.
Smart. Like a bucket like money. We're gonna play boy, this is a game we haven't played for a while, which is Pick, Lick, or Flick.
Ooh, that's right.
So this is our version of, the old classic card game, Marry, Have Relations With, or Murder. Wow. Which I'm sure you know by its more common name, something else. Okay, so Pick, Lick, or Flick. We're gonna pick 3 cards from this pack and choose if we're gonna pick them, lick them, or flick them way on the heck out of there.
I know what our rare is because this one, the double face.
Oh, yeah.
It's Primal Amulet. So we'll put that in the first one.
Okay.
So we've got Primal Amulet / Primal Wellspring.
Yep.
Run Aground.
Okay.
And Dire Fleet Interloper.
Okay, great.
This is good.
Okay, I've got it.
You've got it?
I think our answers are going to be different for this one, but I'm going to pick Run Aground. Okay. It's just a solid bounce spell. Yeah. I'm going to lick Dire Fleet Interloper. Yeah. Because, it's an explorer and they've got a great boat. Yeah. And I'm going to flick Primal Amulet because ain't nobody ever transformed in that land.
That's true. I am going to pick Dire Fleet Interloper.
Okay, that's
lick
defensible.
Run Aground. Mm-hmm. Just because, everybody likes to lick a boat in the ocean.
Megan Wolf, 2017.
Yeah. But yeah, Dire Fleet Interloper, this is an impressive, it's an impressive little pirate. It has Explorer, which we talked about. Yeah, it has Menace.
If you can get a counter on this thing, it's very annoying.
Exactly. It's can be real tough on them.
All right.
Real tough.
Awesome.
All right, here we go. Okay. We've got Fire Cannon Blast.
Nice. That's a spicy one.
Unknown Shores.
Okay.
And Dark Nourishment.
Wow.
Ooh. Do you know what? I have not yet cast Dark Nourishment.
Really?
Really.
Oh, you haven't lived.
Really?
Seems like you want to cast that card.
I mean, I like it, obviously.
Okay. All right. I am definitely picking Fire Cannon Blast because that card is great. Yeah. It's in a good aggressive color and it's just a fantastic removal spell. Yeah. I am going to lick Unknown Shores because I'm not licking
Dark Nourishment.
No
that
way.
Is fair.
That would be horrifying.
This would be terrible. Actually, I'm going to go back and change my second answer to I'm licking Run Aground. Never mind. Primal Amulet looks kind of weird.
Now we're just licking this rock outcropping.
Exactly. I mean, there's worse things.
There's worse things.
This is like kind of like a nice little cove that this pirate boat is in.
I did kiss the Blarney Stone, which was essentially licking a giant rock, which I stood in line for several hours.
Oh, and think about all the people that have.
It was so gross, Megan.
I never would.
It was wet.
Gross. Of course it was. Of course it was.
I did meet a nice Australian in line who we had a nice discussion about geography of the U.S.
Just imagine what's waiting around the bend. Pocahontas. No, Captain Lantern.
I was like, what?
Just imagine what's waiting around the bend. I added the river part because this sounds like lyrics to a Pocahontas.
Just around the river bend.
Just around the river bend. But yeah, I agree. Fire Cannon Blast, just great. Yep. Dark Nourishment is just a little too expensive for my taste.
It's kind of expensive. It'll get the job done.
And the fact that Fire Cannon Blast, you can deal 6 to something is just great.
Worth it.
Great. But the art is horrifying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, what is even happening in this?
They suck in the life force out of him.
He is. It's terrifying. Oh my God.
Megan's having a moment over here.
Ugh. No, thank you.
Oh, you. Like sucking the evil out, actually.
I don't know.
They're feeding off.
Encampment Keeper.
Okay.
Costly Plunder. And Sailor of Memes.
Sailor of Memes.
Ooh, this is tough.
This is a good one. So this is like you got to ask yourself which style of deck you want to play.
Yeah.
Essentially.
You know, I think I'm going to pick Sailor of Means.
Yeah.
I like Treasure, obviously. I like casting cards that are off color.
Yep.
For what I've drafted. The fact that you can cast off color cards in this set without running any lands. Like, I just want to continue to exploit that.
Yeah. We saw a Burning Sun's Avatar cast off of Zero Mountains the other day.
Yeah.
We witnessed it.
Great.
What are you licking?
I think I'm licking... Wow.
Do you want to lick this horrifying dog is the question on the table.
Or do you want to lick this...
Vraska.
This stone arm that she's wielding. She's wielding a stone arm. You know, Encampment Keeper.
Well, that's cool.
I believe that this dog can be a happy dog if you're like kind to him.
Okay.
So I'm going to lick the Encampment Keeper in hopes that, you know, I'll be like, you don't have to be a guard dog. You could just be, I
hope you know this dog is a vampire.
What? No, it's not. It's a hound.
I just feel like it's definitely been vamped. It's got red glowing eyes and sharp pointy incisors.
Do vamps vamp
dogs? Great question. If you know Vamp's dog, please tweet at us because I don't know. Do
Vamps vamp dogs?
We need to know.
Yes.
I mean, in the lore.
Please use the hashtag Vamps vamp dog.
I'm going to pick Encampment Keeper because I like to draft black-white vampires, and this card is a nice little finisher in vampires. And I'm just going to lick the Sailor of Means, I guess, because I don't want to lick. If I lick Vraska, I'm terrified she's going to turn me to stone.
You're going to turn to stone. You can't lick Costly Plunder. You will turn to stone.
Okay.
All right. This is our last one because we've only got 5 left.
All right.
We've got a foil. We have a foil, Mark of the Vampire, a Favorable Winds, and a Sky Terror.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh boy.
Do you know what? I'm picking this Sky Terror.
Okay.
This card is just great.
It is great.
2 mana, 2/2 flying with Menace. So good. Solid. A+.
I'm going to pick this Mark of the Vampire because I want to do dumb things like the Calculator did with his draft deck. And also because, you know, we've played with this card before, actually.
Yeah.
And we saw it happen this weekend, and we've seen it a whole bunch. You're behind, and then all of a sudden...
It swings.
You're winning.
It swings a game.
So...
It does. It's very good.
It's a risky bet, but I'm going to take it.
As all auras are, but it has a good payoff. It has a real good payoff.
It does.
I'm going to lick Favorable Winds.
Yeah.
Look at these 2 happy drakes.
I'm definitely licking the winds.
They're just 2 happy drakes playing.
They're cute. And you know what? I've never seen cast that card.
I've never seen this card cast either.
Isn't that funny?
I want to see this card cast.
Me too.
All right.
Well, there you have it. Another game of Pick, Lick, or Flick in the books. Of course, this is going into the pile of cards that will be given away in our Patreon giveaway, along with one of these awesome buy-a-box packs, which you can get if you pre-order Ixalan or whatever. So keep that in mind for next time for the next set. There's Rebecca Guay lands in here and some foils and like really cool stuff. So like that's going in the prize pool.
If you pre-order those boxes, you can get buy-a-box promos. They're pretty neat.
episode of Magic the Amateuring in the wide, wide world of magic.
That's right. Thanks again for hanging out with us one time. Was this one time.
This time.
Not saying that you don't hang out with us other times.
Yeah.
But we'll thank you for those other times
later.
That you listen.
Thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon. Patreon.com/MTAcast is the place to go to help us get up to 600 patrons or more. You know, if it goes, we're very close to 600. So if it goes past that, I'll be the happiest little pig in the puddle. So
that's right.
Thank you to everyone who helps us get there.
Tu manges comme un cochon.
To people who eat like pigs, I include myself in that statement. And of course, thank you to Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/MTAcast, the #1 best place to buy anything you need related to magic or read their awesome blog. Do it all at cardkingdom.com/MTAcast.
Don't forget to tweet at us with the hashtag VampsVampDogs on our Twitter.
Please don't.
At MTAcast. What? Yes, I really want people.
No, I mean, please don't forget.
Oh, please don't forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want people. I need to see the hashtag VampsVampDogs. and your opinion on whether vamps do or do not vamp dogs.
Yeah, we need to know.
We need to know.